According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, there's more than 6,000 people who are homeless at any given moment in the state of Virginia. 6,000 people just in the state of Virginia. Imagine what that is nationwide. So in fact, you may know many of these people. They could go to your place of worship, your school, your children's school. You might strike up a conversation with them at their grocery store. Sometimes there's just really not a way to tell, which really shows you how wide the issue is. For the past 2 years, I've been a volunteer at Doorways for Women and Families. And this is a shelter that takes in homeless families and single women and single men who are still homeless, and a lot of them are victims of domestic violence. And it really does cater to both, and a lot of times they are one and the same. So family homelessness in Virginia is such a huge issue, especially in the Arlington area, and we all need to band together to fix it, especially through organizations who do so much to help, like Doorways for Women and Families. And I've really witnessed firsthand the effects it has on adults and children, especially children. So there's a lot of factors when it comes to homeless families. In the next few minutes or so, I'm going to explain the importance of recognizing the issue of homeless families in Virginia and what causes this homelessness and what we can do to help more. And so there's a lot of issues that we face in this country and in this state particularly, and it's really always hard to be aware and informed about each and every one. But this is a really important one, and family homelessness affects many people, especially in this area and in the metropolitan area. So according to the Besuch Center, 1 in 30 children in America will experience homelessness annually. And so, there's a 1.6 percentage increase in DC for homeless families, whereas actually nationwide it's going down, but in DC, which is also a metropolitan area, obviously, it's happening to go up, which is becoming a bigger issue and making Doorways more relevant to this area specifically. So children live in cars and shelters and shared homes, and a lot of times there could be, like 8 people in a 1-bedroom or something like that, just so they can all have a house. And according to the National Center on Family Homelessness, this is incredibly traumatic for children and really affects their development. Children are also twice as likely to get sick rather than their counterparts of a non-homeless child. And by the time they're 8 years old, they are at risk 1 in 3 develop a mental disorder. And this, if not treated, can affect them for the rest of their life. A lot of other young people are affected by this, especially young single adults. About 40% of them are identify as LGBTQ. And according to PubMed Journal, these teens are way more likely to abuse substances, and they also have higher rates of mental health issues. So as you can see, homeless teens and families are a huge problem. But in order to fix this problem, we have to really know the root of what's causing it. So the primary causes of homelessness in families is lack of affordable housing and domestic violence. So for lack of affordable housing, many families are homeless because they don't have enough jobs that do not pay enough. They do not have a job that pays enough for them to afford a home or rent or any of the above, a place that they can call their own. And according to the National Low Income Housing Coalition in Arlington County, someone would need to work 192 hours just in 1 week at minimum wage to afford a 2-bedroom apartment at fair market rent. And really, the typical worker has seen no growth in wages to keep up with the economy in the past few decades, especially those who make minimum wage. So then there's the second problem, which is domestic violence. And this is a huge cause and goes hand in hand with family homelessness. And according to the CDC, actually 1 in 4 women has been abused. And when a victim leaves an abusive relationship, a lot of times they don't have anywhere to go, and their abuser will control a lot of the funds, and a lot of times there's kids involved, and there's pets involved, and they have a lot to lose when they leave, especially a home. So it really takes a lot for them to leave their abuser. And when they leave, it's really just an added burden and consequence of their actions that they don't have a home or shelter or anything like that. So, there's many ways to get involved, but starting in your own backyard with Doorways is such a great idea because of the stellar work that they do. So when I started at Doorways, I had to go through a 2-month training process. So I will be able to serve the Doorways community to the best of my ability, especially since I do work with children a lot. And they're some of the sweetest kids I have ever met. Doorways ultimately wants to empower people to take control of their own lives and have somewhere safe for them to go, independent, and really just empower them. Most of them are women, so just really empower these women. And then this is a picture of their new family house that was just built. And there's just so many great people that work at Doorways. And they have a safe house, a family house. They have therapy available. They have financial counselors. And they have programs that just really get you back on your feet, including Home Start. They can give you furniture. Their goal is to not let you come in and, have a place to stay while you figure it out. They help you figure it out with you, which is what I think is one of the coolest things about Doorways. And then you also have so many different ways that you can get involved. So one way is through donating your time like I do. And this can be as a children's volunteer or a family home volunteer or a hotline volunteer. They have a hotline, a sexual assault hotline and domestic violence hotline that's been so helpful for so many people. And they also have a sexual assault recovery program that you can volunteer. And all of it takes training, but it's just so worth it. And you can really just see it helping the people who are there. And so like most organizations, it's also helpful if you send in a donation or, whether it's monetarily or they're always looking for clothes and toiletries, basic needs for the families, school supplies, backpacks, things like that, because there are so many kids, and these are a really great way to get involved and donate as well. There really are endless options. You can spread the word. You can like a post on Facebook. You can like them on social media, attend a fundraiser, even just tell your friend about the organization so they know about it. There's just, like I said, endless options. You can even volunteer at an event. But overall, Doorways is such a great organization, and it really needs more community involvement. Because family homelessness in Virginia is such a problem, and we really need to band together, especially through organizations who do so much to help, like Doorways for Women and Families. Many of the 6,000 plus homeless people in Virginia on a given night are family, and many are children who are just powerless and can't change their situation, and they rely on their parents. So we need to do all we can to help take care of their parents and really take care of our community. By getting involved in donating your time or money, you can really make a difference, and you can really lessen the burden of those families.